Oh, yeah, here we go again. Hello, and welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. In this podcast, we talk all things sports from my own opinion. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride. Hey, once again, welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray, here for another week of sports talk. And also, this episode is kind of solemn because I'm going to talk a little bit about cancer because I have a brother that's dealing with it right now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But before I get to all that, let's get to some football action. I'm going to give you some stats from the games over the weekend. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. So the stats I'm giving you is from this weekend's games as well as Monday night game. And I'll give you some of my opinions on the games. Like I always do, give you my opinion on it. Give you some stats, but give you my opinion on it and try to, for those who don't know football that well, give you a little bit of that. And I also got some baseball too, because the Dodgers are in the NLDS playoffs, NLCS championship, NLCS series, playoff series, which is the series right before you get to the Super Bowl. So to start off, my Niners. Oh my God. My San Francisco 49ers lost another key player to the roster. I'm talking about the captain of our defense, Fred Warner. In the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which they lost 30-19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Fred Warner got taken out. Well, let me not say taken out, but when I turned the game on, the image I saw was him on a cart being driven off the field, and had a towel over his head. Usually, when you see a player with a towel over his head like that, that's not good. That means the injury he suffered is bad, real bad. So yeah. So right at this moment, Fred Warner's down. Um, one of the top linebackers in the NFL. So he's down for the season. According to them, yeah, not according to them, but I know because I heard the announcer say he's done for the season. So he's out. So that's another blow to the Niners, and we're still 4-2. We also, because Brock Purdy's down. Uh, Juwan Jennings just came back. Ricky Pearsall is out. Um, and my man, God, what is his name? My tight end. God, George Kittle. George Kittle. So those guys are out for the season already. And I think a couple of linemen are out. But that Fred Warner, that's a blow to our defense because he's the quarterback of the defense. And if you don't know football that well, if you have a when you have a football team on your offense, you have your quarterback that runs the plays. On defense, you have one guy who's the captain who calls in the plays from the defensive coordinator. So he calls in the plays to the defense and he kind of like gives signals to the guys to tell them what position to be in. And Fred Warner's that guy. And everybody on defense will tell him, yeah, Fred will tell you where to go, where you should be at. And if you don't get there, he'll get there. So Fred was a beast on defense, but he just went down. And also Nick Bosa went down. So we're hurting, but we're 4-2. I don't know what our schedule looks like coming up, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we just lost Sunday, so our next games next week we got Atlanta, then we got Houston, we got New York, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Browns, and then we have a bye week. So out of those games, I don't know. It's hard to say. Atlanta played pretty well yesterday. They beat the Bills yesterday. They look for real. The Texans, we might be able to squeeze that out. The Giants look for real. So I'm not going to say on that one. The Rams look for real. We beat the Rams, and this will be a get back game for them. The Cardinals, yeah, they're not good. The Panthers are not that good, and the Browns, of course, the Browns are the Browns. So out of that whole schedule of 7 games, I believe we can go maybe 4-2 out of the 7. I'm sorry, that's 6 games. I'll say 5-2 out of those 6 games. A slim 5-2. Maybe I'll be good out of those 7 games. I'm sorry, I'll be great with a 4-3 record out of those 7 games until the bye week. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes because, like I said, we got a lot of people out. Brock's out. geez, George Kittle's out, Ricky Pearsall's out. Oh my God, Brandon Ayuk's out. Now Fred Warner's out. Nick Bosa's out. So we've been decimated with injuries since Jesus. I don't know since when, but we will prevail. We will move on, and things will be better. But that was that game, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers looked pretty good under behind Baker Mayfield, still out there balling, proving everybody that he's just that good. Which I had no problem with that. He is good. Baker Mayfield's found a place where he can be Baker. He had some. If you don't know Baker Mayfield story, look it up on YouTube or X or whatever, and Google Baker Mayfield, and you'll see his younger days. He came from, I believe, Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma. He played for Oklahoma, and he was first round draft pick by the Browns, and he was immature when he came out. Simple as that. He was immature, got in some trouble, and the Browns wrote him off. Simple as that. That's all it was. But now he's been in Tampa Bay, and he's gotten resurged. I think he went somewhere else before he came to Tampa Bay, but that humbling experience happened for him. And when he had that humbling experience, it changed a whole bunch of things about him. So now he's playing better. He's playing outstanding right now. I got to give him his props. You know, a lot of people had wrote him off. I was one of them. I wrote him off too because he was horrible. Because there was another quarterback, Ryan Leaf. I don't know if you remember that guy. Played for the Chargers. Same thing, bad apple, and never learned his lesson. Never was back in the league. So those things happen. You get a reputation about things happening, like you know, bad attitude, stuff like that. Those things follow you. Those things follow you throughout your career. But Baker, I give him credit. I give him props. He played a great game. Played an outstanding game. Um, I don't know what his stats were. I really don't want to know his stats, but I'll look at them anyway because I am that guy, even though he's not on my team. Baker Mayfield, 17 for 23, 256 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A QBR of 80.6. Mac Jones for the 49ers, 27 to 39, 347 yards. But he had 6 sacks and 2 picks. And that killed it. The sacks and the picks killed it because a sack killed a drive. So that was that. So that was that game. Also on Sunday, well, actually last night, a couple of games went on last night. That was the Bears and the Commanders, and then the Falcons and the Bills played last night, and they were pretty good games. I kind of was bounced between those two and the Dodger game, but it was pretty good. The Falcons pulled it. The Falcons pulled it off against the Bills. Michael Penix Jr. 20 for 32, 250 yards and 1 touchdown. But the biggest thing was Bijan Robinson, 19 carries for 170 yards and 1 touchdown. And Drake London, 10 catches for 158 yards and 1 touchdown. That was the difference of the game. Bijan Robinson was the difference in that game. I saw that. He was busting through those holes. He was. If it wasn't hit that run game, I don't think they would have won that game. If they would have shut him down, I don't think Michael Penix Jr. could have pulled that off. But they did. And that's the thing about football. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you have a great, outstanding run game, your team can go far because now the defense got to account for the run and the pass. But if they shut down your run game and all you got to do is pass, then they can play. They can play cover 2. They can play man. They can do all these things. They can rush the quarterback because you don't have a run game. So they're not afraid of you running. They're not afraid of the quarterback getting away because they'll blitz them. And Kansas City Chiefs are great at that. Out of all the other games, didn't watch too many games. Like I was at church. I got out of church. Great service. If you want to go in and watch the service, go to YouTube and type in at Grace Place AV, and you'll see the service from Sunday. Great message on Sunday. Outstanding message on Sunday from our pastor, who is Pastor Michael X. Richardson. Outstanding. And like I said, right after service, I've told you guys before, nothing goes before God. So I go to church and I'll catch the game after. Simple as that. So anyway, moving on. So that was pretty good on the games. I'm not gonna go up too many more. I know the Cowboys lost again, so now they're 2-3. They lost to the Panthers, and I saw a clip on YouTube. On TikTok from this guy who's a big Cowboy fan. I forgot his name, but he does videos all the time, little shorts about the Cowboys. He said, "The Panthers? We lost to the Panthers?" That's funny. But anyway, that's the Cowboys. They are who they are. So that was that on the games. Now, anyway, going over to Major League Baseball, the Dodgers played last night. They are in game 1 of the National League Championship Series. And they beat the Brewers in game 1. And it came down to, listen to this, it came down to a bases loaded, and the relief pitcher, the last relief pitcher that came in, I don't know his name, but he came in and they won the game. They won 2-0, I believe. I think that's the score, 2-0. So 2-1, I'm sorry, 2-1 of the Milwaukee Brewers. It was good. Freddie Freeman had a solo home run. And like I said, but it came down to, oh my God. Oh, Lord. Schnell was the pitcher for the Dodgers. I forgot his first name. Let me see if I got his first name here. Snell. Blake Snell, pitcher for the Dodgers. He held the Brewers scoreless for 8 innings until they took him out and put the relief pitcher in. And when they put the relief pitcher in, oh my God, we almost lost that game. We as Dodgers almost lost that game. When their bullpen still needs work. And still they don't have a decent bullpen, but they're getting the breaks because I forgot the guy who was in there. I don't want to say his name wrong, but it was some guy that came in, and when he came in, he walked the first 3 batters. I'm like, what? Get this dude out of here! This was in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th. Walked the first 3 batters, and then they pulled him, and then they put another person in. No, I'm sorry. I think he walked 3 batters, and then he walked the 4th batter, and that's how they got their run. And then they pulled him. I was saying, pull that fool after the second walk. That was crazy to me. I'm a baseball person because I played softball for a couple of years, so I know the game. But come on, man, if he's walking him and he can't get a strike and he can't strike him out and he can't get him out, pull that fool. That's what I say. Pull that fool. Don't let him keep staying in the game, losing the game for you. But in spite, they're up 1-0 in the National League Championship Series. So we'll see. I think game 2 is tonight or tomorrow night. Yeah. I think it's tonight. It might be tonight. We'll see. But this is the only time I really watch baseball is when the playoffs go on because, either if the Dodgers are in it, I watch them because I'm rooting for them. But I don't watch baseball on the regular during the season. So that's probably why I didn't have as many podcasts during the season when there wasn't no baseball, football going on because it wasn't, I don't follow baseball like that. I like baseball, but I don't follow it like that. So I can't really comment on something I don't really know about. But I can tell you I can watch the series and I can tell you about that. So anyway, let's switch gears a little bit. Now we're going to talk a little serious. My oldest brother is going through prostate cancer. 68 years old, and he's going through prostate cancer. And I have taken on the task of taking care of him. Now, for me, it's kind of hard. I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to get through it, but I can tell you this: the way I'm trying to be with them for it. No matter what their past was about, no matter what issues you guys had in the past, step up when it's time to step up. Now, me, I was told by a very wise person, this is your calling, Johnny. This is what you need to do. I stepped up for him. And I'm grateful that I did. There's things going on with him that we're trying to figure out, but we'll be okay. God's got him. Got it in control. He went through a couple of other procedures. He had a surgery yesterday for some other issues that were going on with him, and he's at the hospital right now, but he'll be home. But my point to say is that when you have someone going through something, be there for him. I don't care what the past says. I don't care what you guys were arguing about. None of that matters when somebody's going through something. All that other stuff doesn't matter. All that stuff can go to the side because you never know what the person's last day going to be. And you're going to let somebody, your family member or somebody you love, check up out of here and you don't get it resolved. And that's what I'm talking what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is resolving that issue. It's not saying that you forgot about it, but it's saying that you're forgiving them and you're moving on. And forgiveness, if you don't know, I'm letting you know now, forgiveness is for you, not for that person. It's to get that weight off of you. Whether that person says they're sorry again or not, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. It's up to God. They have to have that conversation. They have to go to God with that. But for you as a person who knows somebody who you need to forgive, you need to go forgive them. You need to go forgive them before they're not here anymore. Whether it's a mother, a father, an uncle, a grandpa, a cousin, a sister, a brother, whoever it is, everybody has issues in their family. Everybody has issues in their family. You can't sit here and tell me that everybody will say, "No, our families are perfect. We don't have no problems." There's always somewhere or somebody's has hold some hatred or some attitude towards somebody, or mad about something, or said, "Oh, this person did this to me." I'm telling you right now, when you get a chance, forgive them, because you never know. Now, for me and my brother, we've been good. We've been good. In the past, there's some things that we went through, and there's, I know him and he knows me. There's some things that he does that I didn't agree with, and because of that, we didn't talk about those things. But it didn't stop me from being his brother, if that makes any sense. I'm still his brother. So when he called me and he told me about these things. So let me back up a little bit. Let me give you a true story. I got like about 15 more minutes to go. Let me give you the story. So he lives in Orange County. So he calls me. Well, actually, my sister calls me and says, "Your brother's in the hospital. I think he passed out or something." I said, "Okay." I said, "Where's he at?" So she told me where he was. Drove out to see him. Was in the hospital. Took my wife with me. We went out there to see him, and they were like, "Well, we don't know what's going on, but he had some problems, some issues," and he was like, kind of shining it off, like, "Yeah, okay, I'll be good. I just need to do this. I need to do that." And I'm like, "Just let them figure out what it is." He said, "Okay." So we came back home. Got a call later. I told him, I said, "When the doctor gets in your room, give me a call so we can find out what's going on." So he calls me back. Doctor's on the phone. Doctor says, "We just figured out what's going on with you. You have prostate cancer." I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, he of course he got emotional and broke down a little bit. So he wanted me to call all the family. I called all the family and let them know, so everybody knew. So then, I talked to his sons, and I talked to them about it and let them know what's going on. So at that point, I had to make a decision: whether I'm going to leave my brother out there by himself, or whether I'm going to come get him and take care of him while he goes through this. That's the decision I had to make. So I had to talk with God, and I talked to some people, and they were like, God was telling me, you know what you got to do. You already know. So I made the decision. I said, okay, he's coming to stay with me. So he's been out here with me. We've been going back and forth to the doctor. And then he had this issue just happened recently where we had to put him back in the hospital, but that's taken care of. Thank God. God got him through that. He had surgery. He had some issues going on. I won't go into detail what the issues were, but he had some things going on. But God made a way, and the surgery he had was a success. So he's doing good. He's actually recovering right now. But the thing is, I have to deal with him and how he is. I know how he is. The doctors are trying to tell him stuff, and he's like, but I'll say it like this: you don't know what people are going through until you go through it. So he's going through something. So to him, it's all foreign. It's all weird. And for somebody who's went through it, they can probably say, "Oh yeah, it's this, that, and the other." But I heard from a pastor a long time ago, and says you can never tell nobody who's going through something, "I know how you feel." You can kind of sympathize with them and talk to them, but you can never tell them, "I know exactly how you feel," because you don't. Everybody handles things different. I handle things different. I handle going to the hospital to see my brother different than anybody else. My wife handles it different. Me and her had a discussion about it yesterday, and she was asking me, and I said, I'm trying to grasp the whole situation. And she understood. She said, "I got it. You just handle things different." I said, "Yes, I handle things different." She said, "But I don't understand." I said, "I know, but this is how I can handle it." My wife is the kind of person that she's going to be there every single step of the way. I'm going to be there, but I go up there and I come back. I go up there, and I don't know if it's a fear of me going to the hospital to see him like that, and praying that he might check up out of here. I don't know. It's something, but I'm working on it. But when I do go see him, I feel better. Like I went to go see him yesterday. My wife went to go see him yesterday when he had his surgery, and she stayed with him the whole time. I stayed home because I needed some rest. So I got some rest. But then last night after we bowled, I went up there and saw him, and we talked to him, and he was laughing. He was joking. He was still under anesthetic, so he was a little loopy too. So he was saying some stuff, but we was sitting there laughing and joking with him. And when we left, I told him I love him, and that my wife will be back tomorrow to see you. I said, "I'll be home resting, but my wife will be back." He said, "Okay, no problem. So she went back there today to see him. So he called, but before that, he called her early this morning and said the doctor's, he feels good. He just woke up. He's good. Then he calls me and says that the doctor says I'm healed. I said, "Okay, Joe, I know. He's like, "No, I'm telling you." I said, "I understand, Joe. I understand what you're saying. I understand. Trust me. I understand what you're saying." But then, I don't think the communication was good. My communication wasn't good which I agree it wasn't as good as it should have been, but I took it to heart. So I talked to him again. I texted him back because he texted me and said, I apologize for, calling, but you still want me to call you. I said, no problem. I got you. It was, no worries. Don't worry about it. It was just, it's a misunderstanding. We're good. See that. Just that simple. I'm not going to sit there and get mad and get upset. Well, I can understand him. He's still going through it. And I got to sympathize with his side of it and understand that he's going through it. And if it was the other way around, I'm sure he would deal with me. Because when I was sick and I was in the hospital, my wife dealt with me, all the things I was going through. So I got to learn how to deal with it. And I'm trying to learn how to deal with it. I'm going to God. I'm praying on it. I'm trying to understand. I'm listening to wise counsel because the Bible says if you don't get it, first get an understanding. So I'm seeking wise counsel for an understanding of how I'm feeling and what's this doing to me. But what I'm saying to all of you is that if you have a loved one that's going through something like this, it might not be cancer, it might be anything else they're going through. Don't turn your back on them. I don't care what they did to you in the past. Do not turn your back on them. Do not. Do you hear me? Do not turn your back on them. I don't care what they did. I don't care. You can comment on this if you like. I'll take the comments and we can chop it up. Don't matter. You want to give me a comment on it? You want to talk about it? Hit me up at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. That's rayonsports0905@gmail.com, and we can chop it up. But I'm telling you, don't hold any grudges to somebody who's going through something, because that might be the last time you talk to them. And you don't want to be the one to feel some type of way if that person passes and you never got a result. That's going to worry you till forever. Trust me. I know people who's been through that. I know people who felt like that, that they didn't get a chance to say what they wanted to say to that person before they passed, and they left on a sour note. So every time me and him have a conversation, me and my brother have a conversation, and it doesn't end right, I feel some type of way. So I have to go back and talk to him again, or I have to go apologize and try to say it in a better way. Or if he said something wrong to me, he'll come back and apologize to me, and we'll talk about this. And I'll be like, it's okay. It's good. We're good. We're okay. It's been times where I have to get aggressive with him and talk to him, but he's going through, and I know he's going through it. I know it's scary for him, but I'm not going to abandon him. That's what I'm not going to do. So don't abandon him. And that also comes from earlier in my life, I lost both of my parents at the same time, Thanksgiving week. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, going through that, it was the same thing. I had a way of grieving for it. People were like, look at me like, what's going on? I had my moments when I cried my eyes out, but in front of everybody, I don't think I grieved that much. I grieved in front of a couple of people, but not a lot of people. But for him, like I said, I just want to be there for him. I just want to make sure he knows I love him, and I'm gonna do the best I can to take care of him. And, whichever way it goes, God can heal his body completely, and he can come out of this, and I'll give God the glory. Whichever way God heals it, I'm gonna give him the glory for it, because I know he can do it. So I'm not worried about him. It's me. I got to get my mindset that, he's going through something, and I'm going to be there for him. But at times it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to be there at the hospital. I think it's the hospital that I don't want to be at. I don't think it's him. I think it's the hospital that I don't like being at. But it could be some past trauma that's in my mind that I don't even know about. Maybe I need to talk about. Who knows? But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for listening on today. This is Johnny Ray from Ray on Sports, coming to you live from Lancaster, California, from the KJ Ray Studios here in Lancaster, California, and another episode of Ray on Sports. Remember, tell your loved ones you love them. Tell your family you love them. Remember that. And I'll leave you on this note. How can you love God who you've never seen and hate your brother that you see every day? That's the scripture. Take it whichever way you want to. But I'm telling you, love cures all. It takes more muscle work. And I think, what does it say? It takes more to be mad to be happy than to love. It takes more work to be mad than to love somebody. So learn how to love. And go a long way. This is Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. coming to you live. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sitting here and taking this ride with me. And until next time, I'll see you. Have a great day. And God bless. And I'm trying to stop the recording because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Have a good day. I'll talk to you next week on Johnny Ray on Sports.